No complaints. The complaint department is closed today.
Girl.
You call me on a lazy afternoon.
Hey internet guys, so thanks once again for tuning into our channel. So this is Juelina AKA Leila. Right now she's sleeping. She looks like a doll. Okay. Labor and delivery story. And as you see, like right here, we had a baby shower, a bumblebee baby shower theme. So that was in December. December the 31st. Was it the 31st? No, it was Saturday. So I believe it was December the 30th. I already have mommy brain. So we had a baby shower, and then like she was supposed to be born on February the 4th. February the 4th, they first told me when I first found out and confirmed that I was pregnant. They said February the 4th. I just can't stop smiling. This is my little angel right here. Oh, she loved kicking off her socks like her daddy. So February the 4th was her little feet. She had her daddy feet, by the way. Anyways, no, but February the 4th was when they told me at first she was going to be born, and then when I went to my OBGYN, they actually said that it's going to be February the 1st. And then they said, but keep in mind, it's between January the 17th and February the 8th is the latest that we can keep you pregnant. I mean, they were saying if it goes past the 8th, they're going to have to induce me no later than the 8th. So I was pretty much looking out, saying, okay, well, January the 17th, I have to just take it easy and be cautious, not really go anywhere, too far. I have my hospital backpack. Now, because of the baby shower and everything and planning all that stuff and more with my mom and all that stuff and more, I have not got an opportunity to unpack everything that I got at the baby shower. I think everybody who did come and didn't get to come but still, gave gifts and stuff like that. Do you want milk? Milk? She loved breast milk, by the way. So yeah, and I'm breastfeeding her and also giving her bottle. I'm doing both. But she preferred the breast milk more. Okay, so Juelina was born on January the 20th, 2018.
Yeah. Nice to meet you finally.
So it's so weird. I have a 2018 baby, and she weighed 6 pounds and 10 ounces. And we went to the nutritionist, and the nutritionist said that she was like 18 inches. 18 inches and some change. She loves the squish of her feet like this. She never. Okay, let's do this again. See how she stretched them out in long legs? And then she does. She won't give it out. Stop her, mama. No. No. No, little princess. Oh, you yawning? You yawning? I just love it so much. Okay, anyways. Okay, so my water broke. So let me take you back to like back. Okay, so Friday, which was the 19th, I was laying in my bed and it was like around 10:30-ish p.m. on a Friday. I just thought of something and I'm gonna get to that. very soon. Okay, so it was around 10-ish p.m. at night, and I just felt this like weird feeling in my stomach. Like, you know when you feel like, as a woman, you know when you feel like you're about to like have your period soon? I just felt like blood and period was gonna come soon. And I don't know why I felt that feeling. I am a very spiritual person, so is my husband, and I think that's why, that's like one of the things that drew us to each other. So I felt that, and then I slowly got off my bed to go and use the restroom, and as soon as I got off my bed, I felt this gush of, this is gonna be raw and uncut, literally. This gush of like, you know, fluid, and it was like this very light brown, subtle color. And I remember reading up and hearing nurses here online talk about the signs of when you're going to go into labor. I started putting the stuff in the baby bag, okay? And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I brought clothes and all that stuff and more, because the hospital that, I don't know what it is about hospitals nowadays, and I'll get to them a lot more too, because there's a lot more to say about this labor and delivery. The good, the bad, and the Anyway, so this hospital, I'm glad I packed her clothes, because, back in the day, they would allow you to have like the onesies and the little, the little hospital towels, and they give you little pacifiers. Oh, not anymore, or at least not down here in Nutbush. I guess that's why my husband don't really like this county. No shade, just being honest. But okay. So back to the story. I packed the bag. I packed her baby bag. I remember, all right, I packed her Steve Mattis bag. I packed her Steve Mattis baby bag. Okay, mama. Okay. And I packed some other bags, my hospital bag, and then there was like, my documents and all that stuff and more. Just things that if they would like need me and my husband or whatever it may be. I just pretty much packed it, everything that I could think of. Anyways, so by this time it's going into Saturday. By this time it's going into Saturday early in the morning. So I'm still up around 12, 1 o'clock. I'm listening to Mama June on the TV while I'm in the other room getting her bag ready. And whatever Love It Lockup was on or whatever maybe, and I'm listening to that while I'm like packing all these stuff, and I'm just getting this feeling, and I'm like saying, okay, by this time I've already texted David around 10ish and told him, I don't know, but I feel like I'm gonna go to labor soon, so be ready, blase, blase, have your bag packed and ready, to come down here and be with me in this process. I know you're working, but, we already have planned this, so he knew the drill. He knew to drop everything and to come down here for his girls. And anyway, so, by this time it's 2 a.m. and I'm going into my bed, and I'm going to bed, and I'm laying down, and like around 3-ish I went to the bathroom, and I felt like this very like, I didn't know if it was like just, just fluid just coming out. Yeah, just fluid just coming out, or it was water. So, and that was like around 3 a.m. So around 5 a.m. I'm getting these slight contractions. By this time I'm getting the slight contractions, and as I'm getting these slight contractions, just a little minor, just like a little tap, like a little tap, and I don't think of it as anything, right? And then like around 5 a.m. I woke up, needed to use the restroom. I used the restroom. I felt more of that like fluid, and it's clear and watery, and I'm not thinking of it as anything. And then I went back to sleep and I needed to pee again, and once again I'm not thinking of it as anything until I start feeling a little bit more of that little tap 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 contractions. It was very subtle, and I'm laying down in the bed. I'm laying down in the bed and it's still 5 a.m. It is getting closer to 6 a.m. in the morning. And this is on a Saturday. And I was just like, whoa, like it was super wet. I was super, super, super wet. And it was clear, watery liquid. And as I went to the bathroom, I just felt water gush. It wasn't a lot of water. It's just like, just the water just dripped onto my leg and dripped onto my leg. And by this time, I'm soaked. I'm completely soaked. And a lot of women think that when your water break, it's like a lot of water that gush out. I mean, it really didn't happen like that. It was just enough where I said, gotta go, gotta go. I left the house around 10 a.m. But before that, I had called and I had made an arrangement, like put my name down and all that stuff and more. I had called as soon as that happened, around it was Friday night around 10 p.m. I had called. The OB, triage to the hospital where I was going to give birth at, and I had called them and I just kind of like made it be known, like, hey, I think maybe my water broke, or I'm going to be going to labor soon. I'm not sure, you know. I went to the hospital finally at 11 a.m. on Saturday. I know if I went earlier, I probably would have went into labor. Um, but God have a plan of why I waited like I did. I had a dream team. Okay, I had the dream team, like my doctor, from the nurses that I had. I mean, I ran into a couple of nurses before and after my pregnancy that I just wanted to like, and I'll get to that in a minute. But these nurses were so sweet, and and they didn't have any animosity or prejudice against them. And I know what I mean when I say that, and I'll get to that in a minute. So by this time they're trying to induce my labor. They got me all hooked up. They had this antibiotic. They're trying to induce my labor. They're checking my cervix. Now, I do not like when doctors or anybody, when you have to check your down there, they have to, put their finger up in you, and like I I don't like that at all. I mean, like, I know how I got a baby, but like hubby didn't have to do all that. I mean, like, how do I say this? I mean, I know I got a little bit of Neat the Freak in me, but like, just certain things, like, I feel weird and uncomfortable with, especially if somebody's not my husband. And I know they're professional. At least you want to believe that everybody's professional, whatever it may be. And they go to school to do all that and all that stuff and more. But it's like, I just felt so uncomfortable. And I ran into this crazy nurse who was just asking these inappropriate things because, I didn't really want to, like, I was like, ow, I was in pain and I was backing up while they basically have to check that or whatever it may be. They end up doing it a couple of times, and they really end up checking it when the doctor came. And the doctor checked it, and he wasn't making no big deal about it. He probably just knew that, like, I just, I hate the fact that I had to explain myself. Like, I'm like, I don't even feel like I should explain myself why I didn't want to be, like, checked. You know, I mean, I how do I say this? Like, my husband is my only. He's my only. You know what I mean? I'm just being completely honest, and it's like I just didn't want, nor do I want anybody else, to touch me in that area. I just I don't like that. I don't know, it's feel creepy and weird. Like I don't even myself like that, you know what I mean? Like I said, I may be Nick the Freak, but I don't even like go as far to, you know, I feel like that's a moment where my husband should just share with me, and you know anyway, so I had some difficulty with them checking that, but they end up doing it. The doctor ended up doing it, and the nurse, who was really nice, she ended up doing it. Now this other doctor, who's not my doctor, who was not my doctor, thank you Jesus, or this other nurse, which I did not like her. She was creepy. She was trying to examine me while the door was open, creepy as hell. And I just did not like her. She was just super weird. And she just made me feel uncomfortable, and I did not want her touching me at all. And listen, let me tell you this too. When you give birth as a woman, it is the most uncomfortable thing ever. Your whole body is exposed. You literally push your ass out. Literally push your ass out. Like, literally, your butt is in the air. When you breastfeed, they have to be there, and they're squeezing your breasts, and it's just so creepy and so weird. I remember, like, after, excuse you, baby. I remember right after, I remember right after, I gave birth to Juelina. And it was so excruciating. Let me tell you about my birth. I had her on January the 20th, 2018 at 10:27. Okay. David was like saying 27. 27 is like your favorite number. Like, it's your significant number. And I was like, I know, yeah. And I was like, it was just so weird. It was so surreal. And that was like around the time on Friday where I knew, like, I'm going to go into labor. Here I am pushing, so they up my pregnancy with this medicine. I wanted epidural, but I said no epidural because I didn't want them to push a catheter inside me. Inside, they would have to do that inside my pee hole, and I was already having problems them, you know, me with, checking me up there, and I had an issue with that. I didn't like that at all. Um, so um, so at this time, and then they gave me this medicine that got me really feeling really, really nice. I don't remember what that was called, something with an N or whatever maybe, and it made me feel really, really, really nice, and I just start talking crazy things, and then it made me feel really, really bad, and she was like saying, do you want the other dose? And I was like, okay. And I took the other dose, and I was like, oh no, give me some more. And she said she can't, I have to wait. And I'm telling you, it just affected everything. At this time, before then, I was already just kept on dripping out water, dripping out water, dripping out water, more and more water, until I got really scared and saying like, oh, like, there's a little bit of blood coming out. There's like, so many times they had to change the mat that they put me under, and the mat looked something like this. Like this. I had to open it out, but the mat looked something like that, and they kept on changing that constantly, and it was like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know, like, why am I keep on dripping out so much water? I thought, like, once your water breaks, then that's it. And then the blood started coming out, and my mom was like, it's normal, it's normal. I have 6 picked in him, it's normal, it's normal. And I'm asking the nurse, and then she said, I don't know why you ask the nurse, me just say it's normal. And I'm like, okay, but I just want to make sure. By this time, now, okay, I mean this in the best way. I think my doctor was the only one that was Spanish, but he looks like he's Middle Eastern or whatever maybe. Anyways, and there's pretty much just everybody, all of the nurses was white. I think just only one nurse was black, and she was like downstairs, and she was the first one. She was the one that I talked to over on the phone. And she was like saying, oh, you finally came. And I was like, oh, because I remember talking to her on Friday, rolling over into the morning. So I talked it to her before, and she remembered me. She remembered my voice, and I remember her voice, and we just, anyways. That being said, the fact that I'm saying that is like all the nurses were white, is when and they keep on, it's so much of them, come in, come out, come in, come out, and all that stuff and more. No wonder, like, they made sure that the baby was never, like, out of our sight and stuff like that, because there's too many people that come in and come out, Anyways, so I'm seeing, so the door is open, and this room, this delivery room is pretty huge, and like, kind of can't really see somebody, like, when people are coming in. So I'm seeing somebody come in, and I'm seeing like, someone white, obviously, coming in, and I'm looking, and he did not tell me that he left. Uh, he said that he was at the laundromat. So he said he doesn't know how long he's going to be there. From the time period that we actually got to talk on Saturday, because the whole time I was packing, and I just did not have time to really call him. The whole time I was packing, getting ready, getting her stuff ready, getting some more of my stuff ready, and just ready to get out there and go out there. The whole time I'm packing, and I'm just trying to get these things ready. And like I said, like, I'm seeing somebody white come through the door, and I'm just thinking, oh, it's probably one of the other nurses or whatever it may be. And then when I see his face, it's like, he surprised me so much. He surprised me so much to just come through the door like that. Like, he didn't say when he was going to leave or anything like that, but I'm glad he came right on time. Made it, and I was like extremely happy. And are you smiling? Are you extremely happy too? Hearing Daddy's voice? Anyway, so I was extremely happy that he made it. And I was just like, okay. Now, hopefully the process will get like more, because the doctor had came in and was asking if I'm expecting the father to come and all that stuff and more, and I was like, yes, I am married and he's coming. He's just out of town right now, but he's coming. He's gonna be here. He's gonna be here. And I was just like, oh, I don't know when he's gonna be here. And I tell you, from the time period we talked, he came down there. I don't know, I just feel like everything went fast. I can't believe she's like a week plus right now. I don't know when I'm going to be able, or when I'm going to have time to upload this video, because I'm busy taking her to the doctor and all this stuff and more. But like, hubby came, and like, it's just, it made me feel so happy. And then he like started rubbing my feet, talking about these chakras, on that deep David Love jazz or whatever. And he was rubbing my feet, and the nurse came in and said, oh, do I get one next? No. Anyways, So then by then, with all the things that's like running through, they couldn't find, like, okay, I have veins where you can see like the green veins and all that stuff and more. Like you can see my veins, but they have to put it they have to put it a certain place more higher up, because they say like when you going through contractions, like you're gonna be, it's gonna be coming out if you're doing all this. So they try to put it up there. So they have, by this time, they have all these things running through me and all that stuff running through me, and I'm just like, I'm feeling it more and more and more. So after my mom and David went to the cafeteria, they bought some food, and by the time they came back, and I snuck food and ate food even though I wasn't supposed to, you know, and they didn't know that I wasn't supposed to. And I said, I'm not really supposed to eat this. And they were like saying, well, why are you eating it? And I was like, because I'm hungry. And I'm glad I ate some cereal too before no, I'm sorry. I'm glad I ate some cereal before I even went there, because like I was hungry. Okay, so I was a little bit more hungry. So that's why I ate. Anyway, so I ate some food, which I wasn't supposed to, whatever. And it just felt like a long process. Now, let me just get to the nitty gritty. The doctor can't, like, I was start, just kept on making these crazy noises. And, like, literally, I'm screaming. And I said to myself, oh my gosh, the way I'm screaming, I said, I'm probably scaring everybody in there. I started seeing more and more nurses come in, and they were like saying, you have to take it easy. You can't scream like that. You just have to breathe. Take it easy. It was so painful. It was so excruciating. I knew that it was going to be painful. I knew it was going to be excruciating. But, jeez, I did not know I was going to be going in a different world when I was pushing Juelina out. Like, oh, my gosh. And it's like... no epidural, because I'm more focused on the fact that I don't want nothing to be pushed in the vagina. I'd rather push something up the vagina, not nothing in the vagina. So here I am, like, no epidural, and I'm just like, okay, like just going crazy, and the doctor came and they said, we have to see how far the baby is. And I'm like, oh gosh, again, like, ooh, can you just wait? I'm just some more. It hurts so bad. And they feel inside me again, and they realize that they're saying like, oh, it's time. Because before, when I had first went to the hospital, they were saying that I was at 3 centimeters and that I'm going into contractions, and my water did in fact break. And then when I was there, and they were like, doing everything, they were saying, yeah, you're going into contraction, we have to find out. So around like before David came, I was 4 centimeters by then. So 4 centimeters by then, and then the other time I'm feeling all those crazy contractions coming more and more. I knew it was time. And they knew it was time to, for me to start pushing more and more. So I start pushing, and it was just hurt. It just hurt. So I had my mom on one side, I had my mom on the left side, David on the right side, and they were just saying, push, and David was like saying, oh, you're doing so good, you're doing so great. He said he was never gonna look down there. He can't look down there. Here, his head keep on looking down there and all that stuff, and more looking down there. At this time, his Jordans is getting blood up. His my mom's shoes is getting blood up. She was wearing white shoes, and their shoes was getting blood up and all that stuff and more. I know I'm being so graphic, but it was the truth. And like there was like a lot of blood, and I'm pushing the baby out, and the doctor said, like, they were doing this thing like where they took this towel, and I had to pull it I don't know if any of you guys ever done that. And I had to pull it, and she had the nurse, she was pulling it, and I was pulling it like that, and they were like saying, okay, rest, and whenever you need to push again, then you push again, you know, and hold it for 10 seconds. So 1, 2, 3, counting down to 10, and I'm like, oh my gosh, and I was like, I don't know, and I'm like, oh gosh, I can't breathe, and they're like, you can't breathe, you're talking. I'm like, no, it's not that. I'm like congested. I kept on saying things that I guess was funny to people, where where they were like, David and my mom was cracking jokes because I was saying something funny, and I'm like, I'm getting really serious at this time. I'm like, you guys need to stop laughing at me. It's not funny, and you know me, I'm very melodramatic. Especially that is so painful, and they know it's painful because there was a point where David was crying. There was a point where he was crying because he saw how much pain I was in. And that was before I started really pushing and the doctor came in. And then they broke down the bed. It's kind of like how we got her. So yeah, the doctor ended up saying, okay, it's time to break down the bed because like the baby head, and they kept on telling me to touch the baby head, but it's like, I didn't really want to, I'm not focused on touching the baby head. I'm just focused on touching the baby when she finally comes. So so I end up pushing more and more, and I'm feeling like parts of me being stretched, like down here and then like up here. When I felt the up here part like being stretched, I was like, oh, I know she's coming out. But the thing is, it wasn't, the doctor was saying just push through the pain. The pain wasn't, me being afraid that, my vagina is gonna be stretched. It was me being more in pain about the contraction. And I don't know if he meant push through the contraction pain, but it's like I was just determined, her nickname is Leila, like Leila Ali, the boxer. So I was just determined to just, be a fighter like Layla. I named her a fighter name because you know what? She's a fighter. She is she's such a strong baby. Just went to the doctor today, and the doctor says she's so strong. She is a strong baby. You know, there's so much things that this baby went through, and I know it's just the grace of God. Like, I lost 25 pounds with this baby, and I end up in a hospital, and it's like I had to name her Layla, and I just knew it was just me and her, her coming. So I just knew that it was just me and her. So yeah. At this time, they broke down the bed, and I just start giving a push. Kept on pushing, kept on pushing. Feel like I'm going in a different world. And I had her. And the doctor put her on my side. I don't really remember when she really came out. The doctor placed her on me, and I just start kissing her. I didn't care what was on her. I just, just start kissing her, and her umbilical cord is still wrapped. And I didn't even see David's face. I wasn't looking at my mom's face. I was just looking at the baby. Like, I didn't really even get to see her face. I was just like, oh, and David looked like he was a little nervous to cut the umbilical cord. I said, cut it, cut it. I don't know why he was nervous. I guess it was surreal to him. You know what I mean? To witness life being born. His sperm and my egg just made this little life right here. She's a little cranky right now because like the lights that are on, you gotta get your camera time on, baby. And then I'm gonna put you down. Okay. Alright. So that was pretty much my labor and delivery story. And she weighed 6 pounds and 10 ounces. The only thing that I can really say that I really didn't like about this hospital, even though I had a dream team, oh, thank you, Jesus, for making me have a dream team. I didn't like some of the nurses afterwards. There was this one nurse who, you know, was just scratching my baby up and like turning her head very, you know, while I'm breastfeeding, and just turning her head aggressively, or telling, and at this time I'm in pain still, because, you know, my doctor, he wanted to cut me, and I told him, no, you better not. And so Juelina ended up ripping me. Yeah, he had to sew me up, and he had to like numb me with something, and I seen like that needle, and I was like, what are you doing? And he said like, I had to say, yeah, but I was like, no, 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 no. I was like, it's okay, it's okay. Like, he's obviously saying that it's not okay down there, and that it's, you know, she ripped me. Obviously, I can't see down there, nor do I really want to. If he got to do what he got to do. And I was just like, okay. And it's like, he said, you're not going to feel it after I numb. And I was like, okay. So there was a part where he didn't numb, and David got close, and I was like, oh, and I ended up slapping David, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, baby. I'm so, so sorry. I'm so, so sorry. I didn't mean to. And then he was like saying it's okay. He had a little cut on his forehead, because like I slapped him, because like the doctor didn't numb a part when he was like sewing me up, and that was my first time ever I ever had stitches. You gave me stitches. Okay, it was the first time that I ever had stitches, and like after 3 weeks, they say that it just dissolve all on its own, or whatever it may be. Our whole focus right now is not about nurses. It's not about this. It's not about that. It's about being the best mommy that I possibly can to my baby. So, oh, trying to hug me. So, but yeah, that's my labor and delivery story. Say bye. Say bye. Say bye. Or you can just keep sucking on your pacifier. Bye, guys.